Nick here. How are you today, my friends? Hi, Inspired Stamping. How's it going, my friend? All right. So, my apologies for being a little bit late. Apparently, I am still flying on Central Time. I had taken a nearly 2 weeks, I guess I was gone, whatever it was. It seemed like forever. I did have a great time, but there's no place like home. So anyway, I took a trip and helped a downline of mine do her first stamp and bingo event, and it was a raging success. She did a great job and had quite a few people there. And I think her business is setting up wonderfully, which is always a good thing. And then I picked my mama up and we went to Wichita for a few days to celebrate my daughter and our upcoming or soon to be coming out, whatever, our brand new grandbaby girl. We had our baby shower for her last weekend. So I was in Wichita for that and got home the other day and naturally came home with a virus. I mean, what else would I do? And so I spent the last several days being just really not fun and not very good. Hey, Zhang, how's it going? Um, but I got into the doctor on Friday, and they gave me a fabulous dose of that 5-pack of steroid pills, and I'm starting to feel more normal, whatever that means. So at least I'm able to function a little bit and remotely think, not necessarily straight. So we'll see how all this goes, but I have got to get some work done. So I thought you guys might want to tag along and see what I'm up to. So I have a fabulous paper pumpkin kit that came in while I was gone, the September Fall for Twall kit, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I can tell already. But I need to get some projects made with it so that I can share with people. And so that is what I'm going to be working on today. And I hope that you will hang out with me and maybe offer some feedback and input and maybe help me design something along the way. We'll see. Okay. All right. So, yeah, sweet and sassy. Well, at least the sassy part is true. All right. So, one thing that I really like to do when I get a new paper pumpkin kit is, first of all, the projects are always absolutely gorgeous. If you know anything about Paper Pumpkin, it is a wonderful program. It's a monthly subscription kit, and the projects are always beautiful. They truly are. But I am an outside of the box crafter and I like to come up with my own things. So I look at it and I go, those are beautiful, but don't tell me what to do. So I want to make other things. So I've got all of these supplies, and this is basically the way I think about Paper Pumpkin. I don't think of it as being a restrictive thing, like, oh, this is what it says to do. So I guess this is what I have to do. No, I look at it as, ooh, I've got these cool stamps. I've got some adhesive. Well, I've got a teeny tiny amount of ribbon. What the heck am I going to do with that? Well, we'll see. I've got I've got a variety of colors of envelope tabs. These are really cool. I do like that, and I recognize the pattern for these as it seems to match the Autumn Twall Designer Series paper. Look at that. So I'm going to bring that out, and I'm going to also bring out the earthen toned metallic 12 by 12 paper because I know that there's some metallic elements in here, so I'm going to bring that out as well. And we'll see what we come up with there. I've got my envelope set out. Let's see what else we've got in here. Hey, everybody. I see a lot of folks are coming in. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you all being here. Okay, let's see. Looks like there's going to be 3 each of 3 different designs in this kit. And of course, as I mentioned, you do not have to do what the kit tells you to do. Use the supplies how you want. Use them as a box full of ingredients to make a new recipe. Okay. Now, I love this paper, and again, it is a very similar, if not exact, pattern as what's in the Designer Series paper pack, except that it's different colors, which is wonderful. So that gives us a little something different to play with. Okay, and then, oh, this is nice. This actually reminds me of exactly where I was this last couple of weeks. I spent several days in Iowa, and then several more days in Wichita, Kansas. So I took a little path around the Midwest, put almost 3,000 miles on my car, and fortunately, unfortunately, fortunately again, it won't be the last trip because, of course, I'll be leaving again in just a few short weeks because our little baby Boo is going to be due the end of November. First day of December, somewhere in there. So her actual due date is December 7th, but they're saying that they're going to go ahead and induce her a week or so early because she's been having issues with her blood pressure and things like that. So they're worried about preeclampsia and gestational diabetes. So they're going to go ahead and plan to bring baby a little bit early, which, is actually just fine with me because a week or 2 is totally fine. She'll be fully cooked by then, so it'll be okay. All right. This paper is also very similar to the Designer Series paper in the pack. Of course, this is card basis. It's a little different of weight and texture, and it's plain white on the one side, but the pattern is pretty much the same. So that's really cool. Okay. And then the leaves, they are die cuts, not stickers. Which is wonderful because that means I don't have to powder off the sticker. I can just use them directly. And it looks like, indeed, it looks like our copper is the same copper as what this foil is. Well, I don't know if it's copper necessarily, but bronze metallic, whatever. It's the same shade of it. So it'll be great. Okay. And then we've got some circles, a couple of different sizes, a couple of different banners. The circles all have that metallic trim too, which is wonderful. Here is our 3rd card base. That's wonderful too. I like to put the card bases kind of together. And what I will do before I really get into doing whatever it is we're going to do today, I'll pull one of each thing out for a project because, obviously I do need to be able to show people how to make the cards too. So, I might consider pulling out one of everything before we start playing. Hey, K Squared, how's it going? All right, so let me just do this. Okay, now we got the card bases out of the way. All right, now these are pretty cool. They've got a kind of colored pencil, colored pencil drawing sketch effect to them. It's pretty cool. I'll keep one of those out, put the other 2 over here. Let's see, you were right there, and I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, I guess there's a sheet for each card, so that one's still intact. I'll put that one over there, and I'll bring these ones out, and I'll go ahead and pop them because it makes me crazy when they start falling out of the little out of the little frame, and they get tangled and then they get wonky and it's just annoying. So I'm sure you guys just, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's just annoying when that happens. Okay. And then these things are actually, come here. Come here. Thank you. Okay. This is actually so that you can, oh, the struggle, man. Uh, so that you can make a little stamp sleeve if you want to. So you've got a sheet for your images there to go along with that stamp set. I haven't been using that really just yet. I still struggle actually with how I like to store my paper pumpkin things. I've changed it up several times over the last few years, but honestly, I've not found that thing yet that works for me. That being said, I do my monthly planner through a company called Coco Daisy. Have you guys ever heard of them? They are absolutely beautiful planner kits, and every month, it's also a subscription, of course, and every month you get all these really cool goodies and supplies. Um, Planner pages, stickers, die cuts, washi tape, all kinds of fun things that coordinate, look absolutely beautiful, help you make a gorgeous, creative planner in whatever style you choose. And it's wonderful. It's kind of expensive when you want all the things, but we just don't say that too loudly. But anyway, I totally just forgot where I was going with that one. Woo-hoo-hoo! Holy cow. Oh, I know now. Anyway, they have stamps in their kits, and they come in little kind of, like clear poly sleeves. And I really like that actually. And I think maybe I might see if I can't find some clear poly sleeves that are this size, because this seems to be the size that Stampin' Up! Likes to do their inserts. And then I thought perhaps, if you don't come out, I swear. I thought perhaps what I would do, if I could manage it, is have my little insert, right, which is like this, and then put my stamps in there. Come on now, don't let me ride the struggle bus too long. Here we go. And like this, and have them in that clear poly sleeve. Yes. And then have them stacked, in a drawer or a bin or something. And that way I could just kind of flip through and see the images and see what I might like to use later. And maybe that would encourage me to actually use my stamps later, because I have a really bad habit of playing with them while I'm doing the stuff with the kids, and then I put them in a little Ziploc and I toss them in a bin and I forget about them. And that's just so sad, because look, these stamps are so cute, right? So either that, or I need to do like some giveaways or something. You guys would like to have them, right? If I'm not going to use them again, somebody might as well get some use out of them, because they're fabulous stamps. Anyway, I'm kind of mumbling to myself there. I'm sorry about that. I see more folks are coming in. Melissa, Lynn, Hannah, how are you folks? Thank you all so much for being here. Okay, so I've done a little bit of thinking about things while I was on my trip, putting in those 3,000 miles all by myself too, actually, which was not any fun. Usually when hubby goes along, he reluctantly does the driving, and I spend much of the time warming the passenger seat sleeping. So it's not as much fun to be the driver, actually. But anyway, I did a little bit of thinking though, actually, and I've thought about some different things that I want to kind of do with my whatnot business here because those of you who have been with me for just a little bit of time know that this is actually pretty new to me. I've only been on whatnot for a handful of weeks, I think, maybe 2 months, maybe not even that long, and I'm still kind of learning how I want to do things and what it's going to be for me and all of that stuff. It started out as a means of purging some retired product. And then it got to be, I really like this community and I love it when I can just sit and craft with you and you interact with me and talk to me in the chat. And the idea is to stay on here longer rather than being on 30 minutes or less, which seems to me just like a really quick tutorial time. And that's not really what I wanted to do. I really wanted to be able to just sit and chat and craft and hang out and almost as if we were sitting in each other's crafting space, having a good time hanging out together, with a cup of tea. So I don't have a cup of tea, but I do have the latest, greatest Bucky's tumbler, and it glows in the dark. Oh my gosh. The handle, the lid, the straw, all the little things that are light on here, and the little faces, all the things glow. It's so cute, and I absolutely love it. I love it. And my husband looks at me and rolls his eyes as if he doesn't already know that his wife is half crazy. Joke's on him, he chose it. Anyway, so in my thinkings, here's what I've thought. I think that I love design time. That is what this 1 p.m. every Sunday thing is called. And it's a perfect time because we've done our morning and things like that. We've had our lunch, and I come down to work in the studio, and I can visit with you guys and just have a good time, right? Hey, crochet lady, how are you, darling? Anything on your hook lately? And then, I'm going to do a couple of other live sessions throughout the week, I think, because I'm thinking, uh, first of all, I noticed that a couple of other whatnot sellers that I follow that I really enjoy, they have different shows on their same channel. So one person is a fabric lady, and I love watching her fabric shows, and she's got a lot of really cool deals. But I noticed that she also does like a cake decorating show, and she's got specific time slots for each show. And there are several others that are like that as well. Like they have their, this theme, whatever the theme is, show is this day every week. Every Monday at 2 p.m. or whatever it is. And then this other specific show is this other day at this time every week. And I thought, you know what? I can totally do that too if I want to. So I have my design time set for Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I love it. It works for me. It's wonderful. But I do other things besides paper crafts. I don't even remember that sometimes. Sometimes I forget because I do this as a business. So my paper crafting, my Stampin' Up business, is a big part of my life. And so I don't make a lot of time for other things, unfortunately, and I really need to. So, with that being said, what I have decided is that I will also do different times, different days for different things, because like the crochet lady came in, I crochet, believe it or not, and I love it. And maybe I'd like to do some sit and stitch sessions or something like that, so anyway, just different things that I'm thinking of in that regard. And then another thing is that I want to do a time where I have sales, that like I'm actively doing an auction, and then times where I don't have to worry about that. I can just focus on, you know, doing the fun stuff. So, okay, hold on just a second here, because I am a terrible multitasker these days, and what I'm trying to do is figure out how to keep my computer from going to sleep so quickly. I have no idea why it's doing it. I thought I had it turned off, but apparently technology has surpassed my intellectual being, and I have no idea how to do such a basic function as keeping it from going to sleep when the mouse doesn't move for a hot second. Do you guys ever feel that way? I am now officially at the age where I can say, or I have to say, I used to think I was incredibly tech savvy. Now I realize I'm just a really good typist. Anybody else feel that way too? Holy mackerel. All right, customize your screen saving. I feel like that's not what I'm looking for. No, it's not. What I want is sleep or whatever. No, not notifications. Power and battery. Yeah, that could be it. Power mode, screen sleep. Okay, let's see. Sorry, folks. Turn my screen off. Never. Only when I say so. All right, let's see. And even it already says make my device sleep after never. See, I already turned it off. I thought I did, but okay, we're going to change this to like 5 hours and see if that worked, which I hope it did. Okay. All right. Oh, your kids are they're impatient and do it themselves. You know what? It's funny, but not, right? Because I remember being that way when I was young also. Like, "Oh, mom, I don't understand why you don't get this. Just let me do it." You know? And now I'm the mom that doesn't get it, and my kids are doing it to me, and I'm like, "Dang, that was really rude." But you know what? My mom is a smart aleck. If you couldn't possibly tell by me, my mother really is a smart. I can't say that word, but is a smarty pants. And she taught me well, actually. And she says things a little differently than I do, but my big thing to say is that yes, they will be there someday too. You are absolutely right, my friend. So when mine give me a hard time about the things that I don't know how to do, which is always technology related, mind you, it's never anything logical or incredibly useful or mandatory in the realm of living. It's always technology and the conveniences of it all. But they will say, "Oh, Mom, I can't believe you don't know how to do that." And I'll say, "Yeah, well, I taught you how to walk and talk and pee in the toilet. So you just give me a break." And there's really not a whole lot they can say after that, is there? Because what are they going to say? I mean, those are just normal, natural things. Anybody should know how to do that, right? Well, it sounds good. Okay, what I'm doing right now is, remember I said before I started that crazy ranting on and on about all the things I want to do, and sorry, my mind is still kind of loopy. Like I said, I brought home a virus, and I'm still getting over it. So if I don't really sound all here, what are you doing, camera? You're killing me. There we go. If I don't sound all here, that's why. Okay. So the interesting thing just there is that I was getting onto the camera, an inanimate object, by the way, for not behaving itself when clearly I was the problem. But on my counter, I was trying to straighten the card bases so that I could straighten everything else in my crazy ratchety brain. Meanwhile, I was looking at my screen up here and it was showing the cards still cockeyed, and I couldn't figure out why. And it's because my camera was sitting crazy. All right. I'm okay. We're okay. It's all good. All right, what I am doing right now, as mentioned, I am making one each of these cards so that I have all the supplies that I need for at least one project, because I do, even though Paper Pumpkin has instructions, I do go back and do a tutorial video. Sometimes I need to be better about it. Honestly, consistency is probably one of my biggest weaknesses, and I'll blame ADHD brain for that one. However, I'm really working on it. So every day is a new struggle, but every day I show up for it. So, amen. Anyway, all right. So I have my card base. I have this layer, this layer, this layer. Done. I have this one. I have those, that, and that. Done. Okay. This one, oh, that one is not done. Sorry, I lied. I need 2 of those. I knew that didn't look right. Okay. There we go. Now we're good. Okay. Now this one needs this. It needs one of these, and it needs the little fox. And why is my screen going dark again? Oh my gosh. I'm going to lose my mind. I literally turned the thing clear off to like 3 hours, and it clearly has not been 3 hours. I've only been on for 28 minutes altogether. Telling you what, y'all understand my frustration, right? Oh my word. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in. How are you today? All right. I am just getting one of each of these little kits set aside so that I can do them later in my Facebook Paper Pumpkin group. And so let me just put these kits together right quick, meaning that I'm not actually going to assemble these ones. I am just going to tuck them away as a kit, ready to be assembled later. Turn that just a little so it doesn't catch on me, which I'm sure it will anyways, because why not? Okay, so what is everyone up to this Sunday? Are y'all ready for fall? Because it's here. I am excited for it. I am so beyond excited for it, because I mean to tell you, this middle-aged heat wave, these personal summers, the fabulous private power surges that they only briefly told us about when we were kids. Oh my gosh. Why were there never more warnings? Our mothers are kind of jerks. Our grandmothers are even worse. Why did they never tell us this stuff? Like, you will feel literally as if you have lost your mind, for starters. Your body is no longer your own. Maybe it never actually was. Maybe the minute you have children, it's not yours anymore. I don't know, but anyhow. Oh, Lord have mercy. Your bladder does all kinds of things that nobody can even explain, even if they tried. I mean, what the heck? You go to the bathroom and 5 seconds later, you feel like you're going to pee yourself if you don't run fast? What the hell's up with that? Oy, anyway, I will just ramble and rant. So bear with me here. I am on it today. And please don't anyone be offended. I don't want anybody to be offended. These are just the mindless rants of a middle-aged woman who's losing her ever-loving mind. That's all. Okay. I do have to drink a lot of water, though. I will try not to drink in your ear. I'm so sorry if I do, but I do have my big old Buc-ee's tumbler. 40 ounces worth there, friends, which means that I will indeed have to pee. Maybe every 5 minutes. Who knows? But when I went to the doctor to get said steroid medications to get rid of whatever the crap this is, the doctor says, oh, well, possibly you have a little bit of dehydration, so you may want to drink some more water. And I'm thinking, lady, if I drink any more water, I'm going to need the ark to survive. But I will drink more water for you. So, okay. Now that I've got most of that out of my system, we shall see. Can we get down to crafting already? I've been yapping for 30 minutes now, and I'm sure you would really like to see something be done. So let's get to it. Okay, first things first, I'm having one of those personal summers. So I'm just going to clip my sleeves up to make it like a sleeveless shirt here because, and here's another thing, another wild thought they never tell you. Why is it that for whatever reason, all of a sudden, nothing can touch your skin because it feels like it's ripping your flesh off or just, I don't know what it is, but just irritating the out of you. I don't know. I need to set up a support group for middle-aged menopausal women, whatever. And this whole pre-menopausal BS, whatever. It's menopausal and it sucks. All right. Get off the whining train. Let's get to moving, shall we? Okay. All right, folks. So basically, I've got all of these goodies left that I can play with and use however I like. And one thing that I really like to do, and especially with envelopes that have a super stinking cute flap like this, and I'm going to show you, but I have to decide which one I want to use. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to participate. Do you want to do that? So will you choose for me the orange, the red, let's keep it simple, orange, red, or brown, and I will make a cute little bag. Sherry, you are on top of it, sister. Thank you very much. Okay, I am going to show you, and this is a really, really cute, quick and simple gift or treat bag that you can make with a regular card envelope, okay? So this is just a standard A2 size card envelope. And you can make it however deep you want it within the scope of the envelope, obviously. But if you want a 2-inch deep pouch, you're actually going to score it at 1 inch. Now you're going to say, wait, 1 inch is not 2 inches. I learned that in math. Yes, you absolutely did. But remember, it's actually 2 pieces, basically. So when you score it at 1 inch here, you're actually going 1 inch, a score line, and then another inch. So that makes your 2 inches, right? Okay. So just remember that with whatever size you want to make it, that you're actually only going to score it at half of what you want. And then remember that you have to do it on all 3 sides. Okay. Now, let me just show you kind of what I'm talking about because I've got a couple of them here already. These are basically the exact same thing. Now, they're done with different envelopes and different measurements. As you can see, one's a little wider than the other one, but they are super cute, super simple little gift or treat bags. And they are indeed made with just the envelope there. Okay, so let's say I want to do it 1.5 inches is really good. Now I'm going to keep that cutting blade out of my way, especially right now with my wackadoodle mind. I will end up cutting all of the sides off and ruining the whole thing. So if I want it to be 1.5 inches, I'm going to score it at 3/4 of an inch, right? Okay, so I've got it there at 3/4 of an inch. I am going to go ahead and score all the way to the end of the flap. That's important because I'm going to trim this little wedge of flap off. All right. And I'm going to be gentle with my trimmer or with my scoring blade because it's an envelope. It could tear a little bit easy. So it's better to just do it lightly and run it over multiple times rather than give it a good solid push. Okay, it gives me a nice little line there. And don't worry, we're going to make it easy because we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. That way it makes it easy for us to pop it open. Okay, I've got it at my 3/4 inch mark again. All right. We're just going to give it a nice little marking there. I'm going to come up to the top just because that's where the flat is. All right. There we go. Okay. And then while I've got it up there, I flipped it over. Now I'm scoring the other side as I mentioned I would. Okay, bring it back down here. And then one more. All right. The next, oh my gosh, my screen just tried to flip and go blank again. Ah! Anyway, I'm going to lose my mind today. Doo-da, doo-da. It's going to make me crazy. Do-da-do-da day. Anyway. Okay. We're going to burnish our lines both ways so that it's easy to fold open. Hey, Susan. Hey, Nance. How's it going, my friends? Okay. Now that I've got it burnished both ways, both sides, nice and good, I'm going to take my finger and poke it down into the corner. How rude of me, poking my finger. And I'm going to pop open that corner right there, okay? And then I'm going to pinch. And basically what I'm wanting to do is pinch a little triangle here, okay? And then I'm going to come all the way to the ends. All right. Just like that. And then as you can imagine, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to pinch right like that. Now you can see our little gift bag is coming into shape, right? Okay, but what I want to do is I really want to burnish this triangle because it adds a lot of weight, like a lot of depth, really, a lot of thickness to the bag. And if we can burnish it flat, then that, it's just that much better. So let's go ahead and really give it a good burnish. Here we go. All right. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can either fold these tabs up and glue them to the sides, or what I actually recommend is gluing them to the bottom, because when it comes to bringing in the tabs here to the side, if you have these in the way, it's just a little bit bulkier. In my opinion, it's less bulky if it's glued to the bottom. And now I've got to plug my computer in. Hold on 1 second. I knew better. I knew to do that in the first place, and I just didn't. Hey, Google, play Air Supply Radio on Pandora. Because the tunes have got to come into play today. Okay, now I'm going to take some liquid glue. Of course, you can use whatever adhesive you like. And then I'm going to put just a little bit right here at the bottom. It doesn't take much, okay? Just a little bit. And I'm going to do the other side too, because I find that if I let it set up for just a second, it's not as likely to ooze out at me. Okay. And then give it just a little bit of a press here, and then a little bit of a press here. Okay. And let's see here. All right, there we go. Nance, yes, it is indeed an envelope. It is an A2 card envelope that I've turned into a gift bag, or am turning into a gift bag, as it were. So this actually started out as this. Yes. And here are a couple of other examples of ones that I have made before. And they're just really, really cute. Okay. All right. Now then, I mentioned about cutting this part off, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. What I do typically is I will just come straight in here along this seam. I'll cut this off and then cut this little tab just out. Okay. And you can see my little bag opened up like that. That is a really good size bag. It holds a lot of goodies. And on this one in particular, I made the heart as my little closure, so I could just tuck my lid right in there and it holds it closed. With this one, I actually used a Velcro dot, and that's what holds it closed. But you can also see on this one, I did the same thing. I cut it from here and then cut it up here. So that's what we're going to do this time as well. All right. So I'm going to take my, not my ribbon snips. What's wrong with you, woman? Ooh, that was almost catastrophe. Crisis averted. Oh, dear. Okay. There we go. That was bad. You folks that have fabric and ribbon scissors, you know. That was the biggest faux pas. Ooh, that was bad. Made me have a heart attack. All right. There's that. And same thing on this side. Friends, tell me if that music is too loud in the background, or I'm hoping you're not even really hearing it much. I have tinnitus in my ears. If you have a constant ringing in your ears, that's tinnitus. It's a wonderful thing. And basically, when it gets too quiet in a room, all you hear is just this constant me. It's really annoying, and it makes it very hard to focus on, well, pretty much anything. So, if I have music or something playing in the background, even if it's just enough to keep it from being quiet, then it's a good day for Dana. So, I don't want it to be loud and obnoxious for you, though. All right, now I'm coming along the edges of this side, and as I am, I'm kind of just squeezing it in a little bit. I'm just helping build that shape in there. I'm kind of a lazy crafter in that I'm not necessarily interested in taking the time to make score lines in there when I know all I have to do is carefully pinch it a little bit and it'll go where I want it to go. So maybe that's not actually lazy. Maybe that's just really smart. I'm just saying, but that's the way I do it. Okay. And, it really doesn't take much. Just your finger up in that corner there is just, just a little bit. And there it goes. Okay. So now we have our little gift bag. And if I were to go ahead and fold that flap over, you can see that our gift bag is basically done. Right? So now we just have to decorate it. And I think actually I do maybe want to square up the flap. I don't think I'm going to leave it curved, and I may even actually cut it clear off to the adhesive. I think I might actually, but I'm not sure about that yet, and I don't have to make that decision just now. So let's set this aside for a moment and maybe figure what we want to do with it, shall we? All right, I don't need another envelope, so I'll put that aside. And that's just too big and not necessarily something I want to waste on an envelope. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. I had to mute you for just a second because that music was actually just a little bit too loud. Okay. I don't want to use those either. I will make something else with them, but not right now. Okay. Let's go ahead and pop these things out. I did tell you I was going to do that because I hate when they just dangle like that and they just don't stay, and they're very difficult to deal with when they do that. It's obnoxious, actually. Okay, here we go. All right, but they are really cute things, and I do love them. Also, not really a side note, but kind of a side note, a bonus note. I don't throw these things away until I know I am done with them. And here's what I mean. I will absolutely use, for example, the leaf clusters here and turn it into a stencil and make a background. I'm not above doing that. I've done it a bunch of times. In fact, I have a whole box full of stencils that I have made literally from paper pumpkin negative pieces like these. So I never throw these things away until I am satisfied that I'm not going to use it as a stencil and that I'm totally done with it. Okay? Because, it's like if I don't save it and then I think of something later and I've already thrown it away. So then I'm like, oh man, if only I hadn't been in such a hurry to throw it away, So anyway, I just don't throw it away yet. I don't have to be in a hurry for that. I can put it back in its box until I'm done with it for sure. So yeah. Okay. I think I can use maybe one of these. Oh, yes, because that's looking cute already. And what if we did that? That's looking pretty cute. Man, we could go super simple, couldn't we? And just be like, put one of everything on here and say, oh, look, we're done. We could. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes things come together that way. And this stuff is really cute. So I really love the foxes. There's a foxes. Is plural of foxes, or is it just fox? Okay. Well, whatever it is, they are cute. And they are also in the designer series paper over here as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm kind of leaning towards something like this. What if, and just a thought. Okay, you guys move on up here out of the way so that way we've got room to look. What if we did just something like that? That by itself is just really stinking cute, isn't it? It is, actually. And nothing like the deals. Okay, let's do that. Let's go. Okay, let me grab my liquid glue again here. And I'm going to just put a little bit of it right here. Okay. So I normally do about half a dozen or so alternative projects with the paper pumpkin kits. And the reason for that is because I want my customers to be able to see the kit and the value in it. And I want them to be able to see something that they like because, we don't always like all the things. And I want them to know that even if they don't necessarily like a particular theme or style or whatever, that there is still something to be liked and that they can turn it into anything they want. So if they don't like the way that a kit looks as it is or as it's presented, then I highly encourage them to try to find a thing about it that they do like and to basically, make it their own because it is. So there we go. Put that on. And then I think our lovely little fox here deserves to be popped up on dimensional. So we're going to do that also. Whoop, if it doesn't run away from me. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. If you think you're too big for that spot, then I will cut you in half. And we'll try it that way. So, was it yesterday? I believe yesterday. My husband and I watched a couple of, let's say, classic 80s films, one of which was The Great Outdoors with John Candy, an epic classic film. And what was the other thing we watched? We watched two different ones. Oh, good grief. I'm telling you, this old lady brain is killing me. It's killing me. Okay. All right. That's not entirely how it looked when I said it. There we go. That's better. There we go. I like that. Oh, gosh. I cannot remember what it was. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, whatever it is. We were watching The Great Outdoors, and, that is a terrific film. And we were discussing how they don't make films like that anymore. I mean, there were so very few bad words in it. And, There were no ridiculously nasty and inappropriate sex scenes, and there was no, blood, guts, and gore or anything like that. Now, mind you, I am a true blue Halloween girl. I don't mind a little ew and goo, but, come on. I watched Supernatural. I'm a Supernatural girl. Hello. I hope some of my friends out here are as well. I'm Team Dean, just saying he's mine, not yours. Get your own. Anyway, so, I can handle a certain degree of, the ick and the gross, but, it doesn't have to be so graphic. Lord have mercy. Seeing a bit of blood splatter across a room or, a head go flying, okay, that's fine. Hit it, move on. You don't need to see the blood dripping down the screen. That's gross. Oh man. And so if you watch Supernatural or have watched Supernatural, Jensen Ackles, the guy who plays Dean Winchester, it was rumored once Supernatural ended after like 20 years, okay, it was the best show ever, that he was going to be starring, or not really, I don't know, starring is a word, but he was going to be appearing on a show called The Boys. And I hadn't seen the show, okay, but I knew that it was some kind of an action hero show, and so I'm thinking Marvel, DC, something like that. And but I had no interest in watching it because, that kind of stuff really isn't my thing. And so I never really got around to that kind of stuff. But of course, when he came on the show and my Supernatural is over, I'm like, okay, well, I've got to find something else to watch. So, I might as well follow Jensen wherever he roams because, he's a really good actor. And I love Dean. And even if he's not Dean anymore, I can still pretend that he's Dean because, anyway. And so I watched it, and much to my surprise, that show, holy cow, that show has got some, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to think about that show. Holy cow, have you seen it? Lord have mercy, they need to go to church. I mean, Sam and Dean needed church. They were often at church. Just saying, it happened. But these boys, they need church. They need Jesus. They need a whole lot of something else. And they need something else to do, too. My gosh. I have troubles, and this was the thing with, and I am totally just going on a rant now. Please just tell me to stop. But so many of my friends were saying, have you seen Outlander? Have you seen Outlander? No, I have not. Oh, you have got to see Outlander. Okay. So I go to watch Outlander and I turn the first episode on, and dear Lord, sex right in my face right off the bat. And I'm going, golly, give a girl a warning. I mean, I'm not a prude by any means. Hello, I'm a Gen Xer. But for the love of Pete, tell a girl when you're going to have a butt in her face. I mean, my gosh. And the boys, very much the same thing. Lord have mercy. Raunchy, nasty kind of almost what would have been considered pornographic back in the day. Can we be real with that? Right there on public television, basically. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, that was sounding very old lady like, but you know what? I don't care. Sorry, not sorry. I'm telling you another thing too while I'm on the tangent of talking, and you guys can listen or not. I mean, I hope you're listening and maybe interact with me. But I want to be able to see advertisements for anything, Coca-Cola for the love of Pete, without having TNA put in my face, And for my older friends in here, I will say I don't want to have sex selling me things. I want to see what happened to the days of an old Coca-Cola. Do you remember the old Coca-Cola commercials? It was twisting off the cap. Bubble, bubble. Ice. Click, 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 click. Pouring. Glug, glug, glug. Sizzle, 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 sizzle. Right? I want that. That was enticing. Why do I want to see a girl in a string bikini putting a Coke bottle up to her lips and focusing on her lips and not the Coca-Cola? What the heck does that have to do with Coca-Cola? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Or a car, or, anything, literally anything. Why is sex selling everything? Totally basic. It makes no sense. There's my tangent. Apparently, this series today needs to be, we're going to have a tangent Tuesday, but it's not Tuesday. So I don't know. Sermon Sunday. There we go. Okay, I hope y'all are laughing because I'm not seeing comments rolling in. So I'm hoping y'all are having a good time. I really am just absolutely full of it today. But these are things that I'm thinking about, man. I mean, really, why? Why are we having, oh my gosh, all of this sex and drugs and well, the rock and roll is good, okay? Let's be real. Rock and roll was the best thing of all of it, but the sex got to go. We don't need it. I mean, we need it. I'm lying there, folks. Let's be real with that too, okay? But we don't need it all over TV. Okay. Anyway, I have a question for you guys, and hopefully I haven't already run everyone off. This is the most I have yapped about all these crazy things. I don't know. You're getting a fresh side of me, I guess. This is what happens when I've been gone for weeks. I don't know. Uh, anyway, please tell me if I'm being inappropriate. I hope I'm not, and please do not be offended by anything I say. And if I ever happen to say something that offends someone, please message me and let me know. And even if we can or will have to agree to disagree, I can at least apologize for offending, because that is definitely never my intent. I never want to offend anyone. But we can, of course, have difference of opinions and still be friends, and I will still love you. And hopefully you will still love me, even if we disagree, because that's okay. All right. Anyway, I need some help with something, folks. I actually, now that I have this piece done, which I think is pretty cute, I hope you guys do too. I kind of feel like I cheated because there's literally no stamping done on here yet, but whatever. It's using my resources wisely. But I initially said that I was going to trim to the top edge of the adhesive to square up the tab. But now I'm kind of thinking that with the white label, I almost like there being more of that decorative flap. So what do you think? Do you think I should leave it longer like this? Or do you think that I should cut it off, which would come to right about here? So it would take all of this off. I mean, both would be cute, but I don't know. I kind of like it longer. What do you think? Okay. And then while you're thinking about that, and I'm just going to leave it, I'll put that under there. Well, it's not quite high enough. Yeah, Nance says leave it longer. I think that's the way to go. Well, it's not going to stay anyhow. I think that's the way to go as well. So, with that being said, what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and put a few dimensionals here, because I'd like to also pop this up off of that. So I'm going to do that. And I like to put my finger down like that. I don't know if you noticed when I did that. But what I did is I had it laid right about where I wanted it. And then I took my finger right about where the edge of the flap was and pulled it away. And that tells me where I can put dimensionals so that they end up on the flap and in the same position that I wanted it. So I don't know if you picked up on that, but that's a little trick I like to use to let me know where my imaginary lines are going to be. Okay, and then I'm always going to kind of come up just a little bit higher because you never know, you know. Okay, and we're just going to use up the rest of this page of dimensionals because that's the coolest, most fun thing ever. All right, and I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, I can put one on that one for sure. Good deal, because I only had one left. All right, yay! I love it when I can use all the way around my dimensionals. It makes me so happy. Okay. Now then, what I need to also decide is where I'm going to put my closure. And I'm honestly thinking about putting it on the bottom of this piece. So we're going to see. We're going to put this on first and see how that goes. All right. There we go. See, just perfect. All right. And yes, I was thinking about putting my little closure right here to hold it down like that. And I think that's what I should do. So let me see, where's my little... I got a whole basket of stuff here, which should... Oops, if I don't throw everything at me. Well, where are my embellies? Because you are not it. I got them. I know I got them. Are they right here? Come here. Come here. Well, even if they're not, I did find another set of dimensionals, so that's good. Let's see. What I'm looking for, what I should have here someplace handy, is a set of those adhesive backed Velcro dots. And I've got packages upon packages of them. But where, oh, where could they be? Let us see. You know, occasionally organization is a little too much of a good thing. Sometimes you get so organized that you lose things. Does anybody else have that happen, or is that a me thing? I do not know. Well, let's see. I'll tell you what. I am not sure. Let's see here. Hello, darling. Matthew's trying to sneak in on us. But it doesn't work because I can hear him. All right, folks. Let me see if I can get me another set of them. And then if I can't find them, we'll just move on. Which, well, we may have to do. But while I'm up, give me just a moment, folks. I'll be right back. Click, 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 click. Okay, well. Well, those aren't the right kind of things I'm looking for. All right. Never mind then. Isn't that just the way? You know, you have 50 packages of something, and be darned if you can find a single one of them. Well, whatever. They'll show up when I don't need them. That's okay. All right. Just pretend that it's got a little clasp right here, okay? It's going to have one of those Velcro circle dots right there, and it's going to hold it down. So I think that's very cute. Let's put some bling on it because it needs a little bling and maybe a little trim also. I think maybe some of this would be really cute. Okay, I'm gonna do this really cute little double bow thing. Okay, so watch this. It's really fun. I'm gonna hold the tail of it right here down at my pinky finger, and I'm just gonna do a figure 8 here around my first and third fingers until I have 2 loops on the top, 2 loops on the bottom, a tail going down and a tail going up. And then I'm going to take that top tail and I'm going to go in and wrap it around all of the strings. I'm going to do it one more time for good measure. Here we go. And then I'm going to tie it into a knot. And as long as I've got the strings on my fingers, it's not going anywhere. So I can take my time here. I don't have to rush. But I'm going to give it a nice little tug. Now I'm only tugging on those 2 little ropes because if I tug on the loops, the whole bloody thing will come undone. Okay. But if we just tug on those and then slide our fingers off, we'll have these super cute little double loop bow. Okay. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm going to stick it right on there. Okay. There we go. And at this point, you can kind of adjust your loops or whatever you want to do with them. There we go. I do want to snip that down just a little bit. Okay. There we go. And then let's see. Let's do kind of embellishments can we find? These are really pretty. Or we have these ones. Or we have those. I think that's probably going to be the best options for us. Okay. All right, so we have these ones here, and I really like these because they're clear with a little bit of kind of a gold and sparkly glimmer in them. I think those would be really pretty. There's the metallic ones if we want to go for a more rustic look, which we certainly could. And then there's these ones, which probably the Timid Tiger ones, those orangey ones, would look better. I'm not as crazy about these ones as I am the other two, so I'm going to choose that one out. And what I would like, if you would be so kind, as to tell me, should we do the more rustic metallic ones or should we do the glittery shimmery ones? What do you think? So you guys let me know there what we should do. And that is what we'll do. And while you're deciding, I'm going to grab something else because I think I want to work towards my next project. All right, guys, what do you think? Are we going to do the metallic ones or are we going to do the sparkly shimmery ones? Kind of thinking maybe the metallic ones is the way we should go. All right. Okie dokie. That's nice. That is very nice, actually. I like that. Do you like it? I think it's very cute. All right, so that is alternative project number 1. Yay! Okay, that brings me to the next one. I think I'm going to keep those metallic embellishments out because it seems like a whole deal. You have to leave? Oh, okay. All right. What I want to do next is I want to make a card, but I'm going to use the Party Banners dies. So these are really, really cool because you've got so many different sizes of a banner die in here. And just fabulous. All right. Of course, I've got a mess going because I've been playing with them a lot. And I really need to get them on a magnet, but that's okay. We'll be all right. What I need to do is find, I believe it's these two. No. It's this one and this one that I want. Yes. Okay. I want those ones. And let's see what we can come up with next, shall we? What I'm thinking is that maybe we do this one on this piece. I think that would be good. Okay. All right, there's that. This one, I think I'll do with the foil paper. Hey, Amy, how are ya? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate everybody being here with me today. So I'll be doing a little bit of the design time today. Until I get at least some things done here that I need to get done. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to come back later this evening at 6 p.m., and that is Eastern time. So I will be here at 6 p.m., and I'm going to do some auction. And you guys are going to want to come back for that, because I have got some of the coolest stuff that I found on my travels. Rural America is a wonderful, wonderful place to be looking for all kinds of fun things. And, I have found some vintage hankies and doilies and linens and postcards. These postcards were postmarked in like 1908, 1909 up to I think 1912 and 13 were some of the newest ones. And I found a nice little stash of them, and of course I picked them all up. I grabbed them up, and I just knew that I couldn't possibly be the only person who would absolutely lose their mind over them. So I did grab them all up, and if you would like to get access to them, I will be selling those on that show at 6 p.m. Okay. Now, you can see over in my auction and buy now section, I do have some things in the auction right now. And if you see anything in there that you want me to run, please don't hesitate to let me know. But otherwise, I will go ahead and run everything a little bit later on. I'll run them in the 6 o'clock show. And I'm going to plan to be on for a little while, probably a couple of hours. So if you're not able to be here right at 6, don't worry. Come on in when you can. I'm sure there will be plenty left. If there isn't, well, I'm really sorry, but I hope that you'll be able to get in on it, because it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some really, really pretty stuff, and you're going to absolutely love it. I was so thrilled to have found some of this stuff, and it's got me really excited. And so going back to, here we go, full circle. With things that I was thinking of for my show, because I'll be doing a lot of back and forth travels, maybe not a lot, but I will be doing them more frequently than I have before now, because of baby Boo being born. I plan to do some thrifting, junking, hunting, whatever you want to call it, at some of the places that I have found, because they're pretty good, and see what kind of fun and fabulous things I can find for you guys. And so I think that maybe it'll still be on Sundays, because Sundays actually work really well for me. Mr. Sullivan likes to do his thing, and work on his truck and things like that. And he doesn't get to do that a whole lot when he's, running and seeing and doing and enjoying other activities with me. So if we do that on Saturday and then I do this on Sunday, then that gives him the opportunity to play with his truck on Sunday afternoons as well, which I know he would love. So I'm thinking that probably what will happen is I will do design time at 1 p.m. like I have been, and I'll do that for however long, couple of hours. And then I will I will go on a little bit of a break, probably long enough for us to have some supper. And then I will come back and do some auction and buy it sales of all kinds of things. So that's what I'm hoping for right now. And then I do also want to pick up another day a week for just other crafting. So I don't want to limit it to just one type of thing or another. I know that when I plug it in for the show, I need to kind of have the category in mind. So I will do that, but it may change from time to time, and I'm just not exactly sure what that's going to look like entirely just yet. So with that one, it may have to be a little more fluid for us for a while. But I have so many other crafts that I really enjoy, like rock painting, for example, or diamond painting, or cross stitch, or plastic canvas, or crochet, or painting, resin art, beads, jewelry, etc., 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 etc. The list goes on and on and on, you know? So anyway, it gives me a place to be able to do my other crafting things that I love, and it gives myself permission to do that, because apparently that's a thing which they never told you when you were a kid either, that you would eventually have to give your own self permission to go do something fun, which is the silliest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But there it is. All right, I need to grab my embossing folder because I'm thinking I want to add some texture to this foil paper. So what I want you to see is there's the beautiful foil paper as it is, smooth and fresh cut. And then, whoo, squeak, squeak. And then how it's going to look after it has been embossed with the brand new Gathering Leaves embossing folder, which is so pretty. It is a beautiful, beautiful fall embossing folder. And I'm just going to attempt to make sure that it's straight and not crazy on there. Okay. Bring it over to the machine. So World Card Making Day is next Saturday, the first Saturday of October. And here in East Tennessee, literally everything is happening on the first Saturday of October, which makes it difficult to participate in things that Stampin' Up! Is doing on a specific day, but it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and hoping to do some swapping and and things like that with some of my local card making friends. That's always a good thing. All right. Now then, there is what it looks like with the leaves, which I think is fabulous. And then it's not going to have a lot. It's just going to be a little texture, but it really does make all the difference in the world. So I really like that. And let's see here. I just don't know that I want to use. Maybe we'll use that. We'll see. We shall see here. Okay. I definitely want to pop that up, I think. And as soon as I do, I'm going to think I shouldn't have done it. But I'm going to do it anyways because I'm a rebel and why not? Okay. Oh, don't. You just attacked my dimensional. What's wrong with you? Come here. Why are you people on there? Ugh. Okay. There. Nothing like plenty of dimensionals to make sure it goes nowhere. That's a lot of dimensionals. But it's okay. You know, as I'm thinking about this too, and I've not done any kind of distressing, I could. The wonderful thing about having a silicone mat down is I can just put that bugger down and peel it right back off when I'm ready to use it. Isn't that wonderful? All right, I'm going to grab out my early espresso ink and my espresso dauber, my handy dandy trusty dauber here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and distress around the edges of this. Now, you may think that does nothing, but it kind of does. And I guess you don't really see it as well in the camera, but it does add just a little bit of something. Now, what I could do is heat emboss a layer of distressing around it, but I'm not going to go to all that trouble. However, I do like a good technique. Another cool technique you can do is called black ice, and basically you're using a black StazOn, you're using clear embossing powder and streaking it, and it's just a really, really cool technique to use. But that requires the heat tool blowing in your face, and you don't want to hear that either. So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to set that aside, and I'm going to pull this up, which I actually had forgotten that I had stuck to the table. And now this one, of course, you can tell quite a bit of a difference. I'm just going to ink up all the way around it. And I really love inking. For me, it's really therapeutic, and it's just soothing. and fun. I could ink up things all day long and just be so happy. There we go. A little bit more there. Yeah. Try to be not quite so consistent. There we go. There, that's better. All right. Hi, Amy. How are ya? I think I said hi to you earlier. I think I did. I'm sorry, Lovey. It's so weird how Whatnot does this. It shows coming and going and whatnot, and now you may be watching multiple shows at the same time, but obviously I am not, and it shows that I joined just a moment ago too. And I never really understood that. That's so weird. Anyway, it's Whatnot. All right, there we go. And just like that. And then when you put it together, you really can see that it just adds a little bit more depth and not so clean and dry lines. And I love that. All right, now for this guy, because he's a little too sterile for that. And I don't think I like the other one. Yeah, I think that's too dark. I mean, it could be okay, but I really think this one's the one that I need to go with. Okay. So for this guy, I could grab the DSP out and see what I think about it. Or I could also, hopefully not ruin my card, but go ahead and do some texture on this one. Yeah. Come on now, we're doing that. Quit. There we go. I need to get a new dauber out too because this one's starting to peel badly. That's better. All right, let's see what stamps we can bring in, because we should at least attempt to use some of the stamps, right? Okay. All right, here's what we've got. I think maybe we could put some leaves. Let's do these leaves in a cluster. There we go. There we go. All right. I don't need a great big block. That'll do. Okay. And let's stick with the early espresso just to keep it kind of a vintage, I don't want to say sepia. It's not sepia, but an antique look. Okay. Now, the good thing about setting up your stamps on a block like this is that you can just turn your stamp and you'll get a really nice, consistent design. So let me grab a piece of paper here. And you can actually just kind of turn the paper, and you see you're getting a random pattern without having to put much effort into it. You see? The end is always the most difficult one to do. All right, we're going to come back to that because I'll take this little skinny stamp off and I'm just going to put it right there. So I don't know about y'all, but I don't like holes in my design. There we go. And now I'm just going to pull him off. And him. And I can go right like that. And that looks nice. Okay. Pick them back up so I can clean them. That looks pretty good. Looks like I could do with just a little bit right there. There we go. That's a nice little background now, isn't it? I love it. Okay, now let's go ahead and kind of line these babies up a little. There we go. And stamp it on the inside here. And then also on an envelope. And for the envelope, I'm going to do it the same way we did the front of the card. And actually, let me see if I've got another. I know this is a lot going on, but let me just do this so that it gets on the paper. Turn it so I can see, because apparently getting older means you can't see. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to make that same pattern here on my envelope flap so that it looks like it is a beautiful matching envelope. Because we do love that. Yep, there we go. I totally know what the other movie was we watched last night. Oh my gosh. It was Radio. If you've never seen it, that is a fabulous movie. It has Cuba Gooding Jr. and what's his name? Oh, wonderful actor. Who is it that played the coach? Oh, I can't remember. I'm telling you, my mind is something else. All right, so there we go with this. Now, if you wanted to make it the same as the card, like literally the same, then you would want to come in here and do some streaks like this. Hey now. Ed O'Neill. No. Yes. Ed O'Neill. No, Ed O'Neill is... That's not right, is it? Ed O'Neill is Al Bundy. Is that right? Oh my gosh. Losing my mind. Somebody help me out here. Is Ed O'Neill Al Bundy, or is Ed O'Neill the guy I'm thinking of? The guy I'm thinking of played in so many movies. He played in Top Gun. He has gorgeous blue eyes and incredible dimple, and he played in the Patsy Cline movie, Sweet Dreams. He was Charlie. What's his name? I don't know. Oh my word. Okay, Gen Xers, help me out. I'll take some help from the boomers too. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you guys this is hilarious. Speaking of boomer. So I never thought that boomer could be a derogatory term. I mean, because it's literally in how you use the context, right? My great grandpap used to say that it's not the curse words that make them curse words. It's the way you use them that make them the curse words. And so you could turn any word you like into a curse word, basically. And, you know, of course, as a child, this is difficult to understand because you're like, no, now wait a minute, Pap. Mama says that this word is a bad word, you know. Well, I never thought boomer was a bad word ever. I never thought it was a derogatory thing. Boomer was literally a person built within, or built, a person born within certain decades, right? Yes, until our children's children came along and turned stupid. Anyway, so, oh my goodness. So anyway, I was browsing Facebook. Now this has been, I don't know, a few years before COVID, not too far before, but you know, when the whole boomer thing came to be recently. And I was talking to my child about some kind of political thing they had posted. And, you know, of course it was controversial because, you know, I have, fortunate or unfortunately, taught my children to be free thinkers. And so I can't be upset when they think freely, but I do have the right and ability to question them and challenge their thinking and encourage them to continue thinking about whatever said topic is and either stay the course of their chosen ideology or change their mind, right? And it's not my role as their mother to change their mind to match mine. My role is to teach them how to think for themselves and to figure out for themselves what their reality is and what real reality is, right? You're not a cat. For God's sakes, you're not a cat or a dog. If I could be a dog and just lay around and sleep all day, I assure you I would, but that's not possible. It's not reality. Anyway, so my child, Lord love her to death, had posted something about feminism. And, in theory, the idea was a good one. However, I sadly believe that a lot of our girls really don't know. They don't know what feminism truly is, and it's a good thing because it means that we have done a good job of teaching them that they are just like the boys and that there's no difference, even though we know that's not true. And we know that there are things that we have to do differently. There are things that we have to be more careful about, etc., etc. We're not going to get into politics here because Lord knows that is plentiful everywhere else. But anyway, I had posted a comment on her post asking a question about something, asking a thought on a particular extension of said topic. And she had responded in kind with a statement of her own. And I said, fair point. My thought is this. What do you think? And before she had the opportunity to respond, one of her delightful little compadres had said, okay, boomer. Now, before you go, ugh, and eye roll, just know and understand that this is the first time that I am being approached with the concept of being called a boomer because I am thoroughly Gen X. I was born in the 70s, nowhere near boomer age as far as that goes. And so and also being from Oklahoma, where our football team are the Sooners, and we say boomer Sooners, and it's a thing. And so I am genuinely sitting here looking at the computer screen going, Sooners? Question mark. Why are we talking about football right now? And my child, my love, my life, proceeds to come into the comments laughing because she knows what's just happened. She's literally the only one who knows what's just happened. I am certain because I have no clue what her friend is saying, and I'm certain that her friend has absolutely no idea what the hell I'm saying. And so here we are, a generational gap divided by one word having two totally different meanings, and one individual happily in the middle of the two worlds that knows exactly what each of the others is saying and finds it hilarious that the other has no idea. And as you can imagine, this is, of course, my child. Uh, so I sent her a message and I say, why is your friend saying boomer? And she goes, Mom. And this goes back to the whole impatience of our younger generation, right? Mom, really? And I'm like, I'm just trying to figure out why we're talking about football when I thought we were talking about feminism. And I could hear her eye roll through the comment, through the chat. And I couldn't help it. So I had to literally Google, what does it mean when someone says, okay, boomer? And I lost my mind because it said exactly what I thought it must say when it clearly wasn't about football. And I came back to the post chat and said uh, something to the effect of, I certainly hope you aren't calling me a boomer because I am her mother, not her grandmother. And, I am Gen X. Thank you very much. And besides that, what's wrong with the boomer generation anyway? And this girl starts to go on a thing about my thought process and being ancient and antique and outdated. And I was like, come here and let me wring your scrawny little neck, you little brat. Anyway, so we had a lovely discussion further about the topic of feminism and how, and all of this coming back to how our girls don't get the concept anymore, and that we've done such a good job in teaching them that they do have a voice, that we forget to teach them it's really not been that long ago that we didn't have one. And and I'm not getting political here, okay? I'm not. This is just a thought in my little mind, and we can take it and leave it, and then we're going to get back to this card again. Well, we're going to continue to do it, but this is just my mind going. I think that when we're erasing things like Mrs. Butterworth's and going all, and I don't know all these political terms like woke culture and all of that stuff, but I think when we try so hard to erase the memory of past grievances and past mistakes, right? Past behaviors, that we leave open the possibility of not only not having learned from them, but also repeating them, right? Because if we think about, and honestly think about, the fact that it's been less than 75 years for sure that women couldn't even vote. Women couldn't even have their own credit card. I mean, can you imagine today being told that you can't have a credit card? I'm sorry, darling. Where's your husband? My what? Excuse me? I don't need no stinking husband. I can pay my own bills. I can get my own money. Yeah. Imagine being told that. I would lose my mind. So, I do think that it is important for us to teach our kids about those sort of things, and not just our girls. Our boys need to know also, so that they don't repeat the same mistakes that their grandfathers and their great grandfathers did, because let's face it, that's as recent as it has been. And even if you're really wanting to get serious, obviously it's even more recent than that, because even today, how often are women either, they're one of two things. Oh, excuse that naked nail. The polish came off of it. Anyway, they're either sorely underestimating a woman, or a woman is sorely underestimating herself, right? And we need to be able to remember what strengths and weaknesses we all have, because we all have them. Men have certain strengths that we cannot possibly possess, and they have certain weaknesses that we will never possess, and likewise, right? So that's to be celebrated, not try to compete in, oh, I can do absolutely everything that a man can do. That's really not true. And I personally am one of the world's most independent women, have always pretty well been that way. And yet I am so incredibly blessed and thankful to have my husband. And I will tell you something else. Ladies, I am absolutely not above, honey, will you open this jar for me? Because you know what? maybe I could eventually get it open, but he can get it open faster and it makes him feel useful and appreciated. And I appreciate that. So, you know, I think that our grandmothers knew a little something, and our fathers learned, and our mothers learned even more, and maybe we can learn even better yet. So anyway, there's my political rant, and I'm done. But anyway, yeah. So I don't really even know what brought that particular rant on, but man, I appreciate you guys. I know that I'm kind of just talking to myself here, and I don't know how many of y'all are out there listening to me, but I appreciate you hanging out with me. And I know we're supposed to be making projects, and we have made one in a 2 hour time frame. And I'm sorry about that, but it's been a minute. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been here, and I'm just enjoying the time and the process with you. And I truly hope that you are as well. And yeah, anyway, so let me know, comment and let me know if I'm okay. Tell me I'm not losing my ever loving mind, and that maybe there's some like minded people in here, or just tell me I'm totally nuts and you're never coming back, and I'll understand, and I won't be mad, I promise. That was weird, and I don't typically get on any kind of anything that could even remotely be considered political rants on my videos or anything, but okay. So now we've got to figure out what we're going to do with this card, and I'm honestly not entirely sure. I got this far and I really like where it's going. But I think maybe let me see if I can put this through there. Sometimes it's really nice to just be able to rant and yap about something that you're thinking of without worrying too much about it, right? I don't know. Do you guys ever have that where you just like, it's nice to have your girlfriends to chat with because they know that you're not entirely insane, and that, if you have a difference of opinion, it's all good. We can still have a cookout together or whatever, right? Let's see here. Let me try to fold this in half and see if that'll help me keep it going in the right direction. I didn't think about it before, obviously, or I would have done it before. But I kind of feel like maybe this would do good. Is it going? No, it's coming down. Go where I want you to go, please. Don't make me get my crochet hook. Oh, if I had a crochet hook in here right now. This would be done a lot faster. How's that for being sanitary? I'll just blow on it. Don't worry, I'll put it in quarantine first. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, so listen, the chat is quiet. So what are you guys up to today? Are y'all just kind of vegging out like, oh, it's Saturday and it's a fall day, or is it so nice that you're outside and hanging out enjoying the fresh air? I absolutely love the cooler, crisp air of fall. I open all the windows and turn on the fans in all the rooms, blow out all the summertime stank, and refresh everything. And man, I do love that fall crisp air. It is just my favorite thing in the entire world. And naturally, when I want it to behave itself, this thing is just being a royal turd. So here we go. Let's see if I've got it now. Well, I thought I had it, but now I can't even see. But I hear husband. Oh, you're going to work?
Stuff comes off around 5 o'clock.
You're not going to be back before 5?
No.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Is it bad?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Love you. He's on call this week, and unfortunately, that means that anytime somebody's water pressure is low or whatever, or their toilet is backing up, or their sink isn't running heavily enough, or whatever, they call the water department on call. And usually it's because of a plumbing issue from the person's meter to the house, in which case the water department can't do anything about it because it's not their issue. It's the homeowner's issue because it's a house issue, not the service issue. But he still gets to go out on call and check on those things and see what it is. So this week is his week, and it always happens to be the week that there are things going on. This week has a lot of stuff going on. There we go. Got it. Anyway, so hopefully he'll be back home soon. But if not, apparently, did he say 5 or 5:30? I can't remember. He's put some chicken in the smoker for dinner. So that should be fun. Because, yeah. All right. Now, I'm just going to tie this off for right now, but I don't think I'm going to cut it. I'm not even entirely sure this is what I'm going to stick with. So who knows, right? Give me some feedback here, folks. Okay, and I promise that I will not go on these weirdo, ranty, tangent things tonight, but I am going to switch the live because I figured this is just design time, and unless people go over into the buy it now or the auction thing and want me to actually start something now, I will just wait until 6 o'clock when I come back, and that way I'll have time to have supper and and then we can start looking at all the cool stuff that I got. And I'm really excited about that stuff because it's amazing. It's junk journal worthy, good stuff. I have a whole bunch of beautiful old handkerchiefs and some gorgeous crochet doilies and some linens and postcards. Like I said, a bunch of them. Well, I think the newest one of all of them, the newest postmark is like 1913 or 14. I'm pretty sure. Most of them are 1908, 1909, I think, something like that. So that's fabulous. And anyway, so it's gonna be fantastic. There's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot to enjoy. So you want to make sure and set your notifications on that event. It is actually posted already. So if you head over to my shows, you will see it. Yeah, that's okay. Actually, man, a vintage like sepia type tonal tone would be very cute here too, wouldn't it? Yes. All right, I'm going to cut this piece at 4 1/4 because the card, I'm assuming, is 4 1/4. And what I'm going to do is take the early espresso, and if it is going to be vintage, might as well distress everything. Ah! Okay, now I think that'll go right about there. Looking good. Let's see what else we can find here. Let's see what else we can find. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. All right, 4 1/4 of this as well. Okay, and all right. I'm just going to cut that in half. There we go. I actually really like doing kind of monochromatic projects, especially natural tones like earthy browns. Oh, so pretty. But I really like adding just a little pop of some kind of color. I don't know if I'm going to do it on this one or not, or if I'm going to just let the copper handle it. But we'll see. Maybe we'll do something in Cajun Craze. Maybe we'll let that fox come back in. We'll see. I found a bunch of little golden books in my travels as well, and I haven't decided yet what I'm going to be doing with those or with all of them, but I know I've been watching my friends, the Junk Gypsy Sisters, and they do some really pretty things with their little golden books, and so I'm not entirely sure. There we go. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to save all of them for that or not. I will probably end up, come on, adhesive. I'll probably end up selling a good bunch Probably not tonight. I'll be honest with you. Probably not tonight. I gotta take a look and see and figure out what I want to do because I don't want to be rude and try to uh, figure it out on the fly and then decide I want to keep them. And then, that would make somebody sad if they were hopeful for something that wasn't even going to happen. So, I definitely want to make sure that I know what I'm doing with them before I go and say anything or whatever. But I do have a couple that I know I'm going to be playing with and making altered things with. One of them, it's not actually a little golden book, but it is a little Disney book. And it's the Aristocats. And the reason I'm going to do something with it is because I had recently come up on some really cute little Marie charms, which, if you know who Marie is, she was the little white baby kitten and the little baby sister, and so cute and sassy. And I thought that I might make a nice little altered photo book for my little baby Bean that's going to be born soon, and that I might use the Marie things to do that with it. So, ooh, I'm liking that. Are you liking that? That's pretty cool, actually. Yes. Yes, that's pretty. Of course, it's a little off center, I see, right there. That's okay, we're not glued down yet, so it's all right. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it right there. So let me go ahead and glue this down. There we go. Okay, and then I reckon that needs to go. Well, I don't know if it needs to go on dimensionals or not. I don't think it shows much difference. I don't know, we'll see. If we need to put more layers here, then we'll layer it flat, and if not, we'll pop it up. How's that? I do like the idea of the bow, so I am going to go ahead and snip that tail off. That way I can pick the card up and maneuver it around as I need to. Okay, so there's that. All right, now what can I do? And I really want to feature these stamps. Okay, I've got this, and I do have a scrap of that copper that I can bring back in again too. Hi, Miami, how are you? All right, we've got a warm wishes. I really like this thinking of you, and I think I'm going to do that. And I don't think I'm going to do it in the Cajun Craze. I think I'm going to stick with Early Espresso. And yeah, I'm going to stick with those neutral tone on tone. Okay, there we go. Now, I will say, when I'm stamping with photopolymer stamps, especially sentiments, I really like using a foam mat of some kind, because I find that it definitely helps your photopolymer get a really nice, clear image. All right, so here we go. We're going to gently tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And then I'm going to come in Awesome. Now our early espresso ink is it's a dark and rich ink, so it takes it just a second to dry really good. So I like to be careful not to touch it too much. I think just a little something like that really is probably good, actually. So I'm going to do that. And there we go. Yeah. That's very cute, actually. Okay, now let's take this and let's bring in that pecan pie, maybe. Or maybe just leave it. Maybe not bring in the pecan pie. But maybe let's bring in the acorns here. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Forget it. Forget it. I'm going to go ahead and attach extra dimension around here anyway. And what I'm going to try to do is stagger my dimensions so that perhaps when I put it through the mail, it will still be less than 1/4 of an inch. We shall see. There we go. There we go. Something like that. And then, of course, I still have to put one on the ends. Hey, Missy, how are you? Boo's mom, how's it going? Lady Heart, Sarmum, how are you? How's everyone today? It's just a nice, relaxing Sunday afternoon. Doing a little bit of crafting design with my Stampin' Up! September paper pumpkin kit. And it's a really, really cute kit, actually. I am really enjoying it. And then later this evening at 6 p.m., I have another show starting that I will be doing a sale and show and tell of all kinds of really fun things that I found in my travels this last couple of weeks. So be sure to tune in for that. I have a lot of I have a lot of vintage linens and ephemera and doilies and hankies, towels, things like that. I've got postcards, just all kinds of fun stuff. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. Hey, Perp, how's it going? Mama's 25G, how are you, my friend? Okay, let's see. I was just telling everybody that I will be going live again this evening at 6 p.m., where I will be letting go of some fabulous new stuff that I found. And I did a big road trip and came home with about as much stuff as I left with, which was absolutely epic, trying to watch my husband help me unload the car without laughing hysterically and without wetting myself, because we opened the back of the car and he said, "Dear Lord, did you seriously come home with more crap than you left with?" And I said, "Well, duh. Did you think otherwise?" Because I had a huge bag, a tote full of stuff, and a huge box full of Stampin' Up! Things that I took to my new upline in Iowa. She was having her first paper crafting event up there, and so I had brought some things up for her to have to get her started with her business, and also I helped her out with her event. And so I had a big huge box plus a tote for her, and then we had my daughter's baby shower as well, so I had 2 boxes and a tote for her, and yet I still came home with more stuff than I left with, and it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But I found a lot of really good stuff for you guys, and some stuff for me, of course. I kept some of it. But I think that you're going to really love it. I found all kinds of stuff. I found lots of old handkerchiefs with beautiful, some of them are embroidered, some of them have that beautiful print that we all know and love, and just a lot of really, really pretty stuff. Hey, Danielle. Danielle loves vintage finds. I was just talking about all the things that I'll be showing in my 6 o'clock sale this evening. So be sure to tune in again. Mark your reminder and bookmark the show, because there will be a bunch of vintage linens, napkins. Let's see, napkins, handkerchiefs, doilies. Oh my gosh, beautiful doilies. And I don't know if that white is. Yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Anyway, so I just found a lot of really cool things, and I think you're going to love it. So make sure that you tune back in at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be here, not on this show, because this show I will go ahead and close before then, and we'll start the new show at 6 p.m. And I'll have all of my crafting stuff put away, and we'll literally just be selling amazing things. So be sure to come back, because I got some incredible deals, and I got a bunch of beautiful postcards I found. They're in terrific shape, and they're those little rectangular ones, about this big, and most of them are postmarked like 1907 to 1909. There are a few that are postmarked into 1910, 11, 12, 13, maybe a couple into 1914. But 1914 is, I want to say, the latest postmark on those postcards. They're absolutely amazing. So anyway, make sure that you come back And yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I had watched a few shows where the whatnot person was actually at a vintage store or something, and they were doing their live stream directly in the store and just walking through the store showing everyone what was in it and picking things up that their people were interested in. And I thought that was absolutely bloody brilliant because, number one, I'm not a rich person, so I'm not going to be able to buy up thousands of dollars worth of stuff at a time and, bring it back all in one go. Plus, my husband would kill me. Hundreds of dollars is pushing it. Thousands of dollars will get me killed. Anyway, not really, but you know what I mean. But if I am doing this as I go along and people are paying for it as we're going, well, then I'm just picking it up for them. I'm just the messenger boy, right? I'm not actually buying it. So that could work. So on my next trip out, we might try that and see what you guys think, because there are a couple of places that I went to that, for example, if you are a milk glass person, there are a couple of places I went to that have so much milk glass, and I didn't think that it was very bad prices at all. So, I think that you guys would love that. And, not that I want to go barreling into antiques or anything like that. Absolutely not my thing. I mean, it is my thing, but I don't want it to be my show thing. But I certainly wouldn't mind at all. I'd have to figure out all the postage stuff. That'd be the only issue. But, I could maybe do the flat rate shipping things where, you're starting out with a minimum of the small flat rate shipping or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to do some research, but I've got a couple of weeks to figure it out. So, anyway, stay tuned for that, or let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in, because I could find so much cool stuff there. I found a lot of course, vintage glassware, linens, toys, gosh, all kinds of jewelry, all kinds of things. So, and you never know what stuff people are interested in. So just because I'm not particularly paying attention doesn't mean that you wouldn't see something that you might love. So, I'd be happy to do that. All right. I'm thinking that's just a little bit too high. So I need to bring it down just a little bit. But give me just 1 second, okay? Mull over that and let me know what you think. All right, sorry about that, folks. They tell you to drink water, and well, you know. Okay, let's see here. Oh, is that a Amazon or a FedEx or an UPS or what is that? I got a delivery driver in my driveway. That's always exciting. Okay, what I'm thinking. I need that to go just a little bit. Hey, don't beep beep at my door, mister. There we go. All right, now I'm going to pull that tight first and then put it down. There we go. Okay, now the good thing about using that to hold down the thread there is that I'm able to come in and tighten it down a bit. And you know, sometimes I forget to do this, but if you have a pair of reverse tweezers, they are fabulous because you can come in like a second pair of hands or a finger, and I can let it go and think about it for a minute if I need to. But I don't have to worry about it loosening its grip on me. And I can just take my time making my bow, because sometimes the fingers work well and sometimes they want to laugh at me. So, like today, apparently. Okay, here we go. There. Now, I'll just cinch my loops down a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull that bugger out and give it a little tighten. And then there it is. That's a pretty nifty trick, isn't it? Now, I have no idea what just got put on my doorstep, but suddenly I'm happy that my husband had to go to work. I'm not really. I joke. He knows I spend money. It's a bad obsession. Okay, now then, I've got my card here. I'm liking that it looks absolutely nothing like the kit. So that's a good thing. I always try, when it comes to doing my alternative projects for these kits, I always try really hard to make sure that my alternative projects don't match the kit. I want people to know the products that are used and they can see, oh, I recognize that, for example, or I recognize this, for example, but I don't want them to say, oh, well, she basically just used the same design, only modified it a little. No, we completely changed things. So this is the Fall for Twall September 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit. And you can see there are 3 each of 3 fabulous cards in here. Okay, but we took the supplies and we made one card like this. So I love this. And I'm going to put a little bling on here. I don't think I'm done with it. I'm going to put some of that metallic bling on here just a little bit, but that's pretty cute. And then on the inside, very nice. And actually, you know what? I think I'm also going to put the sentiment on here that says, wishing you the happiest of days, because that's very sweet. Okay. And of course, we're going to stamp it in that same early espresso. Okay. All right, now let me see if I can come overhead so I can get this straight, because it would be awful to have such a beautiful card messed up with a crooked sentiment. I mean, it would be okay because it's homemade and, hopefully people aren't that crotchety about it, but, it would make me crazy. All right, I think we did good there, so that's a wonderful thing. And let's see. Mm-hmm. All right, one more thing too, just to tie it all in together. And this is the point where it could be over the line of too much or not. We shall see. It's okay. I like it. All right, so there's that. Let me get some bling on it so it can be done. Here we go. I think the thing that takes me the longest about designing a project is figuring out where to put the bling. Even still, I want to change it just a little. There we go. All right, there we go. So there's one of our projects. Super cute. I'm loving all of the vintage vibe going on. Thinking of you and wishing you the happiest of days. Absolutely adorable. A fly got in when my husband got out, and he's wanting to join in the show, and I'm not appreciating it. Okay. Hey, Sherry, how's it going, sister? And then here is the other alternative project for you, and I will get those Velcro dots found. Oh, I just found them. They're literally sitting on the counter in a basket, not 10 feet away from me. Oh, and even better, well, those are half of ones, but there's a half one right here in my little tray. Okay, obviously I was full on losing my mind when I came on the show. Okay, let's get this guy finished up, shall we? Okay. Now, if anyone is interested, I get my fastener dots at the good old Dollar Tree for $1.25 currently. I don't think these have marched on up to $1.50 yet, but they may have. And actually, here's something for you. While I was on my travels, I came across several Dollar Trees in Wichita that had already gone to $1.75 for everything. Except for the really expensive stuff. So anyway, unfortunately, I believe that Dollar Tree is moving away from the name. They may have to change their name or just merge into the Dollar General. I'm not really sure how they're going to manage that, but surely they'll have to do something with $10 and $15 items in the Dollar Tree. Can you believe that? Anyway, that's just me being cranky, I know. But it is what it is. Okay, so the wonderful thing about these is that they have adhesive on the backs. And so what I like to do, as you could see, the strips come flat like this, where the fuzzy side is on one side and the scratchy loopy side is on the other. And then I fold them in half, which is what you saw here. And this is just the way that I like to do them because I feel like it works out best. But here it is. So you've got the scratchy loopy side and then the soft fuzzy side. And I just fold them over and kind of wiggle them together just a little bit back and forth like that so that they lock together. And then I press that fold. And then when I'm ready to use them, I just snip however many off I need. And then that keeps the backings together until I'm ready. So it's like this. And then all you have to do is just peel the first backing put it where you want it. So you have this. Okay, so I've got the first backing off, and I've already got it glued to my deal. And then I'm just going to peel this backing off. I can throw the plastic away. And then when I put this on, I'll line it up first. Okay. And then I'm going to very carefully peel it apart, because at this point that other adhesive piece isn't on there very good yet. Okay, so I want to separate it. And just so you know, in case you're wondering, yes, indeed, the adhesive on these work really well. Yes, even from Dollar Tree. They are pretty fabulous in the adhesive section. Okay, and then I'm just going to give it a nice good press and let it stick really well before I close it back up again. Okay, and then that is going to be my little treat box, and that is my alternative card. So I hope that you guys liked those. And I am going to do just a little bit more work, but I am going to sign off of here for now, because I need to get some things uploaded for the show at 6 p.m. Make sure you come back. Tell your friends. Have them bookmark the show. It's the show I have going on at 6 p.m. this evening. It says, I don't know what it says, linens and handkerchiefs and ephemera and blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, oh my. And so anyway, that one you want to come back to 6 p.m. right here. I will have a lot of stuff. I have a whole bunch of those vintage postcards. They are absolutely fabulous. I've got some linens, I've got handkerchiefs, I've got doilies, all kinds of things for your memory journals, for your junk journals, for other crafts projects, all kinds of things. One thing, I'm sure you've probably seen them around, but I have seen where some of the doilies have been used to make the cuffs on a quilted Christmas stocking. And I think it is the cutest thing ever. And in fact, that's what I was thinking of when I was looking at these doilies. So, obviously there are 1,000,001 projects that can be done with doilies. So I leave it to you to look at them and decide if it's anything you're interested in. But I assure you there will be something that you will be interested in. So, also, I had been having conversations with other whatnot sellers, and I think one idea that I'm going to do going forward is that instead of doing just giveaways, I'm going to do basically like a giveaway in every order. So everyone will have the opportunity to win. But I like that idea because it saves me on postage. And so I can actually give bigger gifts, and I can give gifts based on what you order too. So I can start with what I would consider a standard size prize, and then if you happen to buy quite a few items, then maybe I want to give you something nicer, right? And so by doing this instead, I can just toss what I want into your box instead of having to have you fill out a drawing form and all that stuff. And, some of them have been kind of failing lately, and that they were, would say there's an error and stuff like that, and it's kind of a hassle. And so, anyway, this just seems like a more beneficial way to do it for those of my actual followers who are there to actually follow and participate. So, anyway, I think that that's the way I'm going to do things from now on. So, if you don't happen to see giveaways on the agenda or whatever, and you think, man, that's weird, or I don't know if I like her anymore, well, don't think like that, because I'm making it better and giving us better opportunities to have better gifts and prizes. Okay. All right, friends. Well, I am going to go ahead and close for now. And like I said, I'm going to work a little bit more on something else, and then I will be back here at 6 o'clock to start that show. And I hope that I will see you all there. Okay, so make sure that you come back. Like I said, come back and see me, baby. Come back. Don't leave me alone. Okay, and yeah, and until then, my friends, sorry, I'm putting this on the shelf behind me because he's so stinking cute. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. If you've been here with me for the last 2 hours and 51 minutes, bless your heart. Thank you so very much. Go give yourself a cup of coffee and some ice cream or something like that. You've earned it. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today and listening to me go on my rants about all of the things. And I hope that I will see you here live at 6 p.m. tonight, because I am actually going to have a lot of really good stuff. I have a whole 8-foot table over here piled full of stuff that I've got to share with you guys. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So, anyway, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And if I don't see you tonight, then I hope I will see you next Sunday again at 1 p.m. for design time. Okay. All righty. Bye. Oh, wait. You know what? Let's see here. Is there a raid train? Is there a raid going on? Oh, Creative Curiosities, my friend. Okay, I like this. Let's see what she's got going on here. Okay. Oh, finishing Battle of the Journal. This sounds like it could be interesting. All right, guys, we're going to go over and raid my friend. So let's go over there and see what she's got going on. All right, she's got lots of cool stuff. Okay, here we go. Bye-bye.